What is a poor people habit you'll never stop doing, no matter how rich you get? Squeezing every last drop of toothpaste out of the tube, and then you cut that sucker open and get 2 more brushing sessions out of it. That's truly heroic. I'm going to try it. My grandmother would cut open the sugar bag to get all the last grains out before discarding the bag. My mother always felt guilty when she didn't do this. You shake the bag and can still hear some grains in there. Did she live through war rationing? Because there were times then, or during the Great Depression, where sugar was pretty scarce. First step before any non-staple purchase is an argument from myself as to why it isn't necessary. I was so proud the day my son gave me his list for college. He had divided the list into wants and the other part was needs. He had one need and the other items were wants. Bravo son. His roommates voted to promote deodorant from want to need. At my uni dorm, there were always a couple of dudes, usually ones who had been at elite private schools. Go figure, whose mattresses had to be burned at the end of the school year. Literally they had made them so gross that they could not be salvaged. The groundskeeper guy would grimly drag them all out to the top quad and we would have a bonfire of nasty boy mattress with beers and a barbecue. I hate to think what I might have inhaled, and that's not even considering the plastic in the mattress covers. MHMH. Nothing like the smell of stale cum burning and barbecue. I'm guessing the grease from the mattresses kept them burning hot and smelly for a good while. Checking clearance at clothing stores first. Sometimes I find great things for really cheap. Also, wait for the highest possible percentage off on a going out of business sale. I check the clearance section first no matter where I'm shopping. I get so happy when I walk into a shop and see a clearance/sale section. You betcha I'm heading there first. Leftover nuts and bolts and other hardware/fasteners/tools from new furniture kits, old broken appliances, etc. It goes to the garage so I can use it in 15 years. The high I experience when I get to properly use a piece of hardware from the leftovers bin /U0001F90C. I was not a hoarder after all. My scraps have a purpose now. Using grocery bags as trash bags. The bag of bags under the sink or the utility closet is sacred. You can double reuse there and it's neater. Save a Kleenex box and shove your plastic bags in it. They hold a lot and also stack well. We have 3 or 4 Kleenex boxes of bags under the sink at all times. Although a brilliant idea, box of bags doesn't have the same ring to it. I'm never going to waste food if I can help it. The fact that people casually throw away half of a meal is crazy to me, especially when it's at a restaurant where they paid a $100+ bill. Eating leftovers for 4 days straight if I have to. I hate wasting food. It blows my mind when I hear people say, we don't eat leftovers. Like I genuinely didn't realize people just threw it out as a general rule. I cook so that I can have leftovers. Nothing tastes better than not having to cook or decide what's for dinner. Honestly, to some meals, stews, chili, gumbo, etc. often really come together after a night in the fridge and are a heat eater. Wow, this comment generated a whole bunch of great responses. I appreciate learning the science about acids. Looking at you. Tomatoes, breaking down over time, allowing other flavors to come through. Using every single last drop of any product/eating all my food. Lotion, I'm cutting open the tube. Shrimp shells, soup time. Or it's not even about the money, it's about sending a message. I know people who don't eat leftovers. This is just so wasteful. Food is food is food. Throwing food away because it's a day old is way too foreign a concept for me. I also can eat the same thing 3 days in a row and not be bothered about it. If that's what there is, that's what I'm eating. I can afford variety now, but wasting food, I just can't do it. My dad would make a brownie pan of meatloaf, and we'd eat that for the whole week. A meatloaf sandwich with toast is still a quality meal. Yes, a cold slice of meatloaf on white bread with Miracle Whip is a childhood classic that I still enjoy every now and then. Checking the calendar for the 2 months with 3 paychecks. This only works if you're paid every other week. This is how I pay for Christmas and my 1 vacation a year. I love the extra paycheck months. Yes, I make a decent buck, but I support a family of 5. I know exactly when payday is. I work with folks who don't know and don't care. Wow. Maybe when I get all my debt paid off I think I've got like 3 years left, then maybe I won't have to notice when payday comes. That will be crazy. I can't even imagine not paying attention to payday. Probably something new will happen between now and then to cause new debt. But I keep a money diary handwritten. It got me out of debt at 37, and I still keep it at 56 to save and keep track of monthly expenses. Turning lights off when I leave the room. Reusing containers, especially glass jars, for any kind of storage needs. Buttons, pens, coins, plant cuttings, they're all going in repurposed jars. I purposefully buy things in glass jars so there is less plastic in my life. Also go for the prettiest shapes I like to use for storage, but also making chutney and relish. I pick up any coins found on the ground. Penny jar going strong. It's crazy how people look at me funny when I pick up a coin. Like WTF. It's money. Back in college, I worked in a pool hall. This old man, and I mean old, like 90 something, would come in every day and just watch people play pool. He would sit in his chair, smoke a cigar and fall asleep. One day he came in all excited because he found 2 pennies in the parking lot. He said, "Can you believe people throw away money? RIP edition." Looking for the best deal, not the cheapest, but best quality for prescient coupons. Buy it nice, or buy it twice. Buy once, cry once. Compare prices per unit, edit, per unit of measure. For example, $0, 36 per gram. I grew up with no money, and now, even though I have enough, I still really love eating my povo meals. Instant ramen with an egg, Vegemite toast with cheese, though that might just be childhood nostalgia. Definitely food. Spaghetti, meatballs and salad, bean soup, twice baked potatoes. Still under $5-6 meal made at home. Then you get that next day spaghetti sandwich. Damn, bro. I forgot all about spaghetti sandwiches. Haven't had one in literally years, because while the kids were growing up we always made just enough that we'd barely have leftovers. Since the kids hated eating them, I'm going to have to throw a little extra next time we have spaghetti, just so I can have one for a taste of happiness from my childhood. It's one of the first things I remember cooking for myself. Little me was so proud. Collecting the complimentary soaps at hotels and keeping a stash of fast food napkins in my glove box. One, save your money, and the other is just practical and cheaper than buying tissues or paper towels. My dad had these habits and I picked them up. He grew up poor, went to med school, and became pretty well off and renowned. The habits never stopped though. Toast with butter, sugar and cinnamon. If this makes me poor, I don't wanna be rich. I've found my people. If I use paper towels to just dry my clean hands, I don't throw it away right away. If there's crumbs to clean up or a spill, I use those same paper towels. Look at Richie Rich using paper towels to dry their hands instead of just shaking them off and wiping them on their pants. Or look at Mr. Fancy Pants over here, having pants. Back in my broke ass days we blew on our hands until they were dry, and we liked it. Ooh, look at Silver Spoon over here with running water to wash one's hands. Back in my day we wiped our dirty hands on the pavement to clean them off. Look at Mr. Small loan of $1 million here with concrete so close to his home. Back in my day we cleaned our hands by licking the dirt off of them like feral cats, hoping to get the protein from the dirt. And then we went to sleep in our dirt holes. Buying meat when it goes on sale, portioning it into useful amounts, and then freezing it for later. Same here. Tonight's dinner includes extra thick bone-in pork chops that I bought the 22nd of October 24 at an average price of $2.18 each. Yes, I write all that on the Ziploc bag with a Sharpie. I also figured out a great way to seal the bags and expel all the air without a vacuum sealer. I fill a pot with cold water, zip the bag about 2/3 closed, and slowly push it all under water. Zipping it fully closed just before it will get water in it works almost as good as a vac seal. Vacuum sealers are like $25. https www. Amazon.com/vacuum sealer machine compact automatic DP/B0D22T5PNH on Amazon now, and they sell off-brand pre-cut vacuum bags. https://www.amazon.com/O2 Frepak vacuum puncture prevention vacuum/DP/B07BPTV4X3 for similar prices per bag to Ziplocs. Plus, if you seal up something and don't use it all, you can cut the bag open right near the seal, use some of the food, and then re-vacuum seal it again. I do this sometimes for big blocks of cheese. I have that exact vacuum sealer and it's great. You can control how much suction it uses, so you don't crush bread, for example, and make it seal at any time. Putting a grocery bag in the bathroom trash can as a liner. I'm so confused. I thought we did this because they fit the tiny trash cans. It's because we were poor. Yes, I thought everyone did that. Thrift shops and yard sales. If I did have a surplus of money, I'd rather spend it on things like travel or ways to treat myself, trying new food, beauty services, etc. than material items. Also, fast fashion and overproduction are terrible for the environment. So it makes me feel great to not fuel those industries. Yes, I found so many hidden treasures and cool and unique items in second-hand stores and at yard sales. That's something I'll never stop doing either. I also pick up furniture or other things of value that I find on the side of the road. Made a killing so far as selling some of the stuff I found. That's the thing of it. I could buy things new, but they'd be less interesting, more expensive, and these days they'd probably come in shittified straight out of the box and just pee me off because I'm old and everything new is crap. On the other hand, I could find a shit kiker of a Jigo from the 19-somethings that's both functional and serves as a trinket or a conversation piece. One thing I've really taken to is old stationery, on down to just normal workaday pens, paper, and pencils. They're usually please. Just take it cheap, and a lot of times the branding and advertising will have interesting bits of the past. Things like KL5-2000 quote phone numbers, old addresses or area codes. I've managed to get to separate stashes of pencils that all say property of the state of Michigan on them. My scrap paper is someone's engineering schoolwork from the 1940s. I've got some sexist throwback notepads pre-headed with dear gentlemen. Some that say from the desk of someone else's address. And staplers. Never buy a new stapler. They're rugged, tend to stay in drawers and get forgotten. And you can sprinkle a little bit of any era of design on your desk with a couple bucks worth of old stapler. I've got the Art Deco 1940s model that you satisfyingly whack to set the staple. The wood grain 1970s model. I managed to find the type that my school used growing up. I've got too many staplers. New stuff is bland. Let someone else pay for it. Borrowing from the library. I feel so conflicted about this. I love libraries, but I also love having my own copy that I can write and take my notes in. I also love ebooks and audiobooks as well. Yes, I do use Libby, guys. That's quite honestly the only way I know to get audiobooks. The library is the test run. If it's worth reading and notating, it gets a spot on the shelf. Ordering water out to eat. Even soft drinks are like $5 at some places. I stopped getting a beer at concerts and sporting events once they hit $10. I don't keep soda at home, so having one every once in a while when I'm out feels fine for me. But you're right on the beer. I'm not getting drunk on $10 beer, so why even have any? Yeah, I go to a lot of concerts and sporting events. Friends ask how can I afford it and told them to come with me. Saw them buying multiple beers and said that's how I can afford to go to so many things. I don't buy booze out and about. Drive cars to the ground. Yard sales. Not buy new clothes often. I drive a 2005 Toyota that I bought new. When I had paid off the loan, I continued to make the payments to my savings account. I never get the need to get another car as long as this one continues to be reliable. Putting the payments towards savings is genius. I remember my parents paying off their cars and directing the payments to the mortgage instead. That's how you do it. People will say to put it in investments that pay more than the interest on a loan. There's something emotionally freeing about paying off a big bill that you don't get from stocks going up, and some of us need that freedom. Being grateful for what I have and living modestly. I don't need a mansion or any other home for several people. Yes, live within your means. If you keep housing and all utilities within reason, you truly are richer than you think. Wearing shirts that still fit me, even several years later. Clothes naturally graduate from going out purpose to worn outside to housewear to pajamas to rags. I have shirts I call eating shirts. Apostrophe. Licking yogurt tops to maximize value. Rich, poor, you've still only got that one yogurt cup, unless you're going to crack a whole new one.